And we are back again, guys. Hello. More Banished. This will be episode 7, maybe. If I can do maths. I did do maths for GCSE. And I got an A, which was remarkable because I suck at maths. I look over the work I did and how the fuck did I do that? Where are these numbers from? What are these things? And yeah, I'm retired. Now, chemistry maths, I can do that because, I do chemistry at the moment. Yeah, I am back. Hi. I didn't even say hello properly. Now I am. Hello. Um, yeah, so last time I waffled on about Brighton and Tunbridge Wells. Basically languages and geography. That's what I did last time. Um, I have a list of subjects somewhere in the back of my head which are things to talk about. I don't know why you want to know what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. Whereupon, technical. Yeah. So these twats are doing stuff. Cutty, woody stuff. Venison, lovely. Interesting story. I used to call venison venison when I was a midget because the first time I saw the word, I could never see the eye. I had not a retarded eye. What's it called? Lazy eye when I was younger. And I never wore my glasses or the eye patch thing they give you, so my eyes are fucked up now as a result. But hey, they're not too bad, but my eyesight's not amazing. And anyway, I could never see the eye properly, so I was just like, venison? And they're like, no, venison. But there's no eye. Yes, there is. Venison. Venison? And I just made the retard of myself, like I am on the internet now. So it only gets worse. There's some cynical advice for you. Anyway, yeah, leather, walnut. Oh, we still have iron tools. I thought we'd run out. Coats. That's helpful. Squash. That's um. That's a lot of squash. I mean, you'd thought they could have built this marketplace so we could fucking sell some, but maybe that's optimistic. Yeah, I'm back. I'm done screaming at the laptop now. Excuse me. Yeah, in case you can't tell, I'm recording these videos very quickly, one after the other. So if I have sniffles in one episode, I'll probably have it sniffles for the next 18 or so, or 4. Because anyone who does engineering should know batch processes that can't be done in batch is better to keep processes that can't be done continuously. If they have to be done in batch, then it's best to keep the batches as big as possible because that's most efficient. If the process takes about the same time for each iteration, that's very complicated. I didn't study engineering, but I know that. I've just cobbled that together from words. Yeah, I don't trust a word I say come out of my mouth because it's probably bullshit, or I've remembered it from somewhere that wasn't particularly accurate, like Wiki. Oh dear. Where are the people? I keep doing this. I'm getting more and more talky about Britain every episode, and nothing. Oh shit! For produced goods. Oh shit! We're filling up the barn. No, it's supposed to. Well, it's because it's full of fucking squashes. More barns. Not that horrible place in Essex. Oh no, I don't know actually. Is Barnes horrible? Someone from Barnes, tell me if it's horrible, please. I have no clue. I've been to 2 places in Essex, and one of them was Braintree, and the other was some shitty town near Braintree. So what the fuck? Oh, it's dear. I thought those were people. I'm retarded. Yeah, Braintree is in Essex. People, it's like the kind of one of the nicer places, from what I gather. But I don't live there, so I have no fucking clue. I just have vague friends that live. Yeah, I know. I still don't know. I should. In fact, that's a benefit to doing slower processing. Would be that I could actually find out if you want me to talk about the game or Britain, or you want me to fuck off and die. I hope it's not the latter. It probably is the latter, but I hope it's not. I need to stop saying latter like a ladder, and improve my FPS. That might help. Where are all the buildy people? Oh, that will explain it. Right, let's get that going. Yeah, I actually have a pad of paper next to me in between this last episode and this episode, which says stuff I was going to talk about this episode. Unfortunately, I have just realised I talked about most of it last episode, which is tits. Yeah, my amazing mental powers. But I can talk about other stuff this episode. Sports in Britain. yeah, I am one of those people who likes certain sports, but I hate sports that a lot of other people like football. I hate football, not American football for Americans. You call it soccer. I don't know what the Europeans call it. Produce goods in their capacity. Yeah, I hate football. Uh, yeah, I just don't like it. Although it's good for funny stories, like when is it Luis Suarez? Someone Suarez bit a chunk out of someone, which sounds more like something that would happen in rugby, which is a sport I adore. I love rugby. Um, yeah, cricket. That's quite a British sport. Oh yeah, Americans rugby. Um, it's like American football, only without the Kevlar plating. Um, and there are a few less rules about how you tackle. There are still rules about how you tackle. You can't go for neck tackles. You've got to get your arms right around someone and clench into them so that when they fall over, you don't get their boots in your face. Common sense, really. There's a few other bits and bobs about tackling and line sides and stuff. But yeah, American football is Kevlar armor. I have nothing against American football. I don't like it, but I don't have anything against the players. In the argument of which is more vicious, rugby or um, American football, I would say rugby. No offense to Americans or anything, but you do wear fucking Kevlar body armor. And although the impacts probably are a little bit harder, if you took those impacts without Kevlar armor, I would agree. But you are wearing Kevlar body armor and fucking helmets and everything. Rugby is just like the skull cap to keep the hair and blood out of your eyes, and then you just run. So yeah, it's a vicious game, which I like. Hockey, I'm shit at, but I quite enjoy it. I don't have very much time to play hockey because the nearest club to me has membership fees of about £50 billion a year, which I do not have the money for, which is, remarkable considering I'm a student with no stable source of income. Yeah, badminton. I love badminton. Um, not much to say about that. There is no badminton club near me, and there's no one I know that would even play badminton with me if there were. So I just play it when I get the chance. If some of the lower, like if part of our college thing is if you're doing your A levels as a college student, you do a lot less subjects than you did at GCSE. So in your timetable, you have some like free periods. In fact, quite a lot of free periods, which you can use to get work done to revise or go do extracurricular activities. One of which is you can go help out with like PE in the lower years, which I do occasionally when the year 11s are doing badminton, which is all right. Yeah, squash. Squash is my favourite sport except for karate. I was okay at squash. I haven't played it for a while. Again, nearest club to me put their membership fees up to £15 bajillion, so that ain't happening. But I do like squash. I still have my racket over in the corner. Actually, you can't see this, but I'm pointing at my racket. Anyone who plays squash would hate my racket because it's a crime against rackets. Really, it was an old Wilson racket, and it's a very good Wilson racket, but it was a bit manky on the grip. Like whenever you played with it, it left horrible black suede shit all over your hands because it's one of the old style handles. So it's currently got some not sock tape, some electrical insulator tape because that's sticky as all fuck. Which I then roughed up with a bit of sandpaper so I don't the racket doesn't go flying off and I take a shot. So yeah, that's my squash racket. You really need to know that. I've said about cricket. I like cricket. I'm a much better fielder than I am batter, but I can bat if necessary. I'm not very good. Okay. And finally, karate. The argument is it an art or is it a sport? I say fuck you all. It's both. Um, it depends what you're doing. Like kata, no, kata and not yeah, kata and kions are both arts because they're difficult to get perfect. They're fucking difficult. I would say kumite and all the other forms of sparring are sports because they're competitive as fuck. They're also kind of an art form in you can kind of adopt different approaches. My approach to kumite is I take the approach that someone who does kendo would do because I did kendo before I did karate, which is to try and dominate the ma'ai and keep the oh, fuck, I've got to explain this. Right, so if you're fighting someone in kendo, there's a line that goes down your nose, straight down your body, and up their nose, and you've got to keep that line straight. And that's called the ma'ai, which is an appalling pronunciation, but I suck at that. It's a weird way of pronouncing it. The ma'ai. Anyway, so that line is it's kind of the center point of the match. So in the kendo match, you see them squaring up with the poles against each other, the bow, not bow, Boche, I think they're called, something like that. And they're squaring up to each other, just tapping their sticks gently. What they're trying to do is get a grip and try and dominate the Mai so that they can attack any position on their opponent, or as many as possible, and defend any blow. The defending blow is the important bit. Because it's all very good being able to stab them in the tits, but if you get stabbed in the tits as a result, it ain't so good. So it's better to sort of be alive. Obviously, they're not doing a shot. Yeah. I like, when I do Kumite sparring, I like to adopt that approach to dominate the Mai. So keep your front hand out, like way out, right in front of your face, arm only slightly bent, because that way you've still got some strength in it and some speed, but it's far enough out that you kind of obscure their view of your body, so they can't work out where the fuck your hands and feet are. Which is good, because if you switch to opposite stance gently, then you're not, they think that they can attack and you've switched to a different stance. So if they attack you, then you can just punch them in the balls and fuck them over. So yeah, and then Keons and Kata. Keons are just the basic techniques, so kicks, punches, hand techniques, all of that shit. Those are easy. Those are the easiest. Those are the competition ones that I would be happy to do. I'm not allowed to enter kata at competition level because I was allowed to when I was younger, but I'm at too low a belt for my age categories. Because when I was younger, I did junior. I was up to a blue belt, and juniors can submit kata from yellow belt and above. But seniors, at least with the kind of karate I do, they don't submit kata below orange belt. So you've got to be orange and above to submit your kata. So even if you're a yellow belt and you know, like the blue belt kata, which is not the blue belt, the purple, which is Kushanku. Is it? Yeah, Kushanku. So you could, if you knew Kushanku yellow, you couldn't submit because you're not an orange. And if you're an orange, you can't submit a kata below orange belt. So I'm not allowed to enter kata at the moment. I could enter Kumite, but I choose not to because I suck at Kumite. I love it, but I suck at it. I just get punched in the tits. Quite literally, actually, the last time I was sparring. I have been talking about karate for way too long. I'm so sorry. I'm having my crazy moments in my head again. Yeah, that's sports I like. I kind of suppose, kind of related to anime, karate, are things I like to watch. I just realised how much of a narcissist I am. I feel horrible. If I'm being too educated and not enough gameplay, then just scream at me at some point, guys, and it'll be changed. If it gets there in time. If I haven't just murdered all my population before you tell me that. Yeah, I dislike a lot of modern TV, although I like Misfits. I haven't watched very much of it, but the bit I did watch, I like. I like Judge John Deed. I love loads of old comedy. Not really old, but like Man About the House, George and Mildred, things like that. I love those. Don't look at me like I'm weird. Americans, you probably won't know what any of these are because these were all BBC shows. I know you get BBC International in America. I don't think you get BBC 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is there a BBC 4? I hope so. Yeah, I was talking about stuff and I've forgotten. Oh yeah, stuff I like to watch. There are a couple of dramas I liked, along with Judge John Deed, which are normally the kind of half romantic dramas, which I can't for the life of me remember what they're called. I did like Skins, but I've only watched an episode of that. I've never had time to get more done, really. Yeah. Futurama, I like that. But other than that, on YouTube, I watch far too much YouTube for my own good, and this is where you're seeing me. I'll do next video. I'll probably talk about what YouTubers I like. I have far too many. Yeah, anime is a major thing. I love anime. That sounds dodgy. I don't like all anime. But there are categories that I like, which they border on hentai, but they're not because they are entirely story. But I was quite ecchi, which is like implied nudity of comedy effect, if you want the Wiktionary definition. Realistically, it means just get your tits out and then be scared of it, and it's funny. that's a bit out of context, but you understand what I mean. I don't see the point of hentai myself as a form of pornography. I have no problem with pornography. I don't have a problem with hentai, but I don't enjoy it. I've just told you all I watch porn. I'm sorry, or implied it. Anyway, you know that. If you didn't know that, I for yeah, I thought you'd kind of imagine that for a 16-year-old, they might. Common sense for you people. Um, yeah. So edgy is good. There are lots of kind of harem romance ones which I like. Far too many of those. Actually, now I think of it, everyone's dying. Fucking hell. Um, like I'm trying to think of an example of the harem romance, like the one I'm watching at the moment, Anonatu de Materu, Waiting for You in the Summer, in English. Waiting for You in That Summer, even. Fucking hell. Which is, it's an adorable anime, quite frankly. It's kind of, even though it's set in Japan, it reminds me so heavily of like what British summers are like. Like anyone who's single in Britain, and you remember the last hot summer we had, which I can't remember which year that was, you'll know what I mean. Every hot British summer is just like it. There's sort of romance in the air, and there's all sorts of shit going on, and but it's still relaxed. The weather's nice. It's lovely. Yeah, Britain has shit weather for people who don't know. We are technically a temperate climate. In actuality, it means that we have it pisses it down with rain the whole year, and it sometimes gets warm in summer. Very rarely, like once every 8 years. Although to be fair, it used to be more common. There was a summer in '82, like 10 years, 15 years before I was born, where it got so hot that the tarmac literally melted off the roads. Like in most British summers, the tarmac will go like, put your hand on it, it's a bit sticky, or maybe you might get one fleck of black. But one summer in the 1980s, it got so hot that the tarmac was actually coming off on people's tyres, and they would just pull up sections of road. That summer was probably far too hot. But yeah, there are also all kinds of other ones I like. There are some with like quite obscure premises, like Jin no Saji, which is Silver Spoon, which is kind of set about a kid who he kind of half ran away from home. He sent himself to a boarding agricultural college in the country, so he wasn't with his parents. Like he just told them, right, I'm going here, and they were like, oh, okay then, and so he went there. Um, but it's an adorable premise. He joins the equine club. I mean, he's a city boy. He was like me. He knew nothing about the countryside. Maybe that's why it touches me, because I knew nothing about the countryside. I literally thought it was a place where cows shat, which I now know I live here that it is. So hey, but there is a little bit more to it. Yeah, and then there's a new series of Junosaji this January gone by, and I don't know if it's still going, but I like it. Trying to think of some other examples of ones I liked. Yes, Code Geass, Hangyaku no Lelus was quite good. Although it irritates me because there is no L sound in Japanese, so it should be Rerus. But you can't say that because it sounds retarded. I like Code Geass. I've only watched like 10 episodes of it. Not 10, 5. But yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, hi. Yeah, I quite enjoy the premise. Things like High School DxD, which is kind of bordering on hentai, and same with High School DxD New. Those were the story was adorable, and the tits were a bonus. That's my way of describing it. There are a few other ones I like I've forgotten the name of all of the animes I like. Yes, Kaishu wa Meido-sama. Literally, the president is a maid, which is just fucking adorable, and the ending is just amazing. And I wish they would continue the fucking series because the manga went up, and Usui and Misaki got married and had kids, but the anime finishes on like episodes. Right, there are 40 Tankobon editions, which is the manga of. I think there's 40 Tankobons of Kaishu, and the anime kind of stops at Tankobon number 12, so we lose about over half the story, which is fucking annoying. So we don't. The last thing we see is Usui and Misaki in the last episode for the last minute kiss, and that's it. And they're now dating. I haven't read all of the manga. I've read up to like 30. No, 20. But anyway, I've seen them get married, but that's because I skipped ahead a few issues. Yeah, things like that. Ooh, ooh. Right. I will be back in a second, guys. In a second. And we are back. Sorry about that. Again, my amazing professionalism allows me to be interrupted. It's just amazing. Other things I like Clanad. Sorry, I may have in that break bothered to get up my bookmark list to remember what everything's called. Clanad, it messed with my head, but I liked it, so I have no issue with that. Tenge Tope Gurun Lagan. I can't remember what that means. That was quite nice. I didn't like that. Not Kimomo, whatever his name was. The older brother died because he was awesome. He was just crazy and overconfident, and it was amazing. So he's gone. Special A, that was good. I watched that ages ago. That was quite good. Although the only problem is, when I watched Special A, I discovered it by accident. I was watching Kaishu I made it somehow, and it mentioned Miyabegaokwa Academy. Don't ever try and pronounce that; it's horrible. Don't worry about this. I'm talking about stuff you don't know. Just watch them, okay? They are amazing. And I then searched Miyabegaokwa, which I spelt wrong, and it's similar to the name of the school in Special A, so it suggested that. So I clicked that and watched Special A by accident. I was like, oh, this is okay. Yeah, both Genosages, Toll of Ru and the new one, Trouble Darkness. Just fucking adorable. I mean, yeah. I think I watched animes for the kawaii, but anyway. Just Lalachi and Momo-chan, all of those. And the best character is obviously Yami. Yami, whichever one. Yami-chan, who was the crazy, what was it, Dark Black Assassin? No, Yellow Darkness Assassin, that was it. Who was adorable in all of them. Facts for you. They have Tolovru figurines coming out for about $200. So if you have an extraordinary amount of money and haven't watched the anime, or you have watched the anime and you are desperate for these figures, they are selling them on J-List for the Japanese imports, which are the nice ones, because they sell shit ones to everywhere else, because they don't care. Yeah, and they're doing it for all the characters, I think, including Momo. I have no idea what to think of the Momo ones. Although the Lala one's got to be adorable because of the pink heart, the black heart-shaped tail. Yeah, both High School DxDs. There was one series I did watch, which was Date Alive, or Date Alive, which is, it sounds dodgy when you say it like that. I think it is. That was just fucking phenomenal. It sucked me in like $1,000 whore, and there is a new series of it that I haven't got round to watching yet. Other ones, Kemino is Shiru Sekai, the world that only God knows, or the world that God only knows. That was just, that messed with my head. I thought it was kind of a bit, his display portrayal of gamers as quite manipulative was a little inaccurate, but it's quite, I don't know how games can be applied to real life. But despite that, it's a really good anime. Moving down the list, Goshusha Sama Ninamiya-kun. That's another adorable one. Really, it's just it turns my brain to mush by the end of the series because it is adorable and it's quite funny. It's got a bit of ecchi in there, and just the most amazingly ridiculous situations. Amnesia or Amnesia, that messed with my head, but I liked it. There's not much else to say about that. Both series of Infinite Stratos. I preferred the first series. The second series didn't. It's kind of, I like to think of them as the same series, but the second half of the series being shit because they are kind of the same. They didn't do what Tolovru did and things like that. They didn't have the second series completely different premise. Like they kind of just continued with the story, but IS2 was kind of, the story's a little bit too contrived to my taste. I said Code Gas. Asno Yoich was good. The Yoich of tomorrow, literally. It's another blurgy one. It makes me want to go bloogie bloogie woo. Like it literally makes me want to like hide in my house, wait till someone comes in, just jump out and go bloogie woogie woo, and then they'll look at me like a spastic and slap me. But anyway, yeah, that was good. That had no. A lot of these, when it says ecchi, there's no actual nudity, but it's implied. Like there's amazingly convenient beams of light or clouds of dust blocking it out. That was Asano Yoichi was like that, with the three sisters whose names I've all forgotten. And down to my last two, believe it or not. Toaru Kagaku no Rerugun. A certain scientific railgun, and there are many offspins of that, such as a certain scientific girlfriend, Toaru Kagaku no Shoujo. That's actually, now I think of it, I think that's a shit. I can't remember what that is. Yeah, that's some shitty game, I think. No, it's not. Sorry, it's porn. Why is everything I know porn? I liked Toaru Kagaku. It was kind of I like the sciencey bit. I don't normally go for sciencey anime. But it was the fact that although it was quite drawn out, the science was kind of theoretically it could kind of make sense with the Esper powers and everything. But you'd have to science way in front of ours in the way they could predict the weather down to the second. I mean, I wish we had that now, but we don't. And the last one was one that someone almost forced me to watch, and although it's really, really weird, it's kind of quite amusing at the same time. It's good background anime, which is Chufra, which irritatingly everyone does is Chubura, but Bu is when you actually read the watch the title screen for the anime, it is Fura, because they haven't put the sound modifier on. I've been talking about anime for about 20 minutes. I should probably stop now. I hope you enjoyed, and there will probably be more episodes. And you'll scream at me for talking about my personal life too much and not about the game. I've hardly done anything today. Has everyone died? Not everyone's died. Where did everyone go? There are 2 people in this massive village. Well, next episode. What is this guy doing? Next episode, guys, might be interesting. We'll see. I mean, if I finally kill off these pricks, then I can either start again or start on a new game. I don't know. I will see you guys. I will see you sometime. Bye bye.